Welcome to the Business Growth Spotlight, where we shine the light and talk with business leaders from all over the world who are here sharing their insights and expertise so we can all grow together. I'm your host, Heidi Schalk, co-founder of HLH Growth Solutions, where we help businesses scale their revenue using outside-the-box visibility strategies and methods. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. We're happy to have you here. Please stay to the end because we have a special gift for you. But I'm excited to be chatting with my guest today because we've been having some fun behind the scenes. When we're recording this, it's Friday, so it's definitely happy Friday. Yay for both of us. We're excited. But my guest, Laurel Donnellan with Compassionate Leader Circle, is traveling. She's been to 20 states. When I tell you that, we have people from all over coming on to share their insights and wisdom, I'm not lying to you. She's been in 20 states just this summer, which I think is crazy and awesome. So welcome, Laurel, to the podcast. I can't wait to dive in.
It's an honor to be with you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being a yes, especially with your busy travel schedule. So Laurel, can you share with us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your company and your role within it?
Sure. So I am the founder and CEO of a wonderful company called Compassionate Leader Circle. We're a media and learning solutions company. I've been in business for 26 years. I'm very proud about that. And my role as CEO is really at this stage, because I plan to work another 4.5 years with my team, is to develop my team so that they can do what they love, because I've gotten to do what I love for so long.
So what inspired you to start your business 26 years ago?
I had been in the hotel business. So I was in hospitality. I started hospitality when I was 14, really. I had my first business selling soft pretzels out of my mother's kitchen in farmers markets. Loved hospitality. I always tell people I'm half Irish, half Italian. So food and beverage was our spiritual path as a family. Providing hospitality for other people was definitely a calling. Went to Cornell, undergrad for hospitality management, and loved that and did that for a long time and realized that I wanted to start my own thing. So about 26 years ago, I realized that I got to have a career that I loved, and I wanted to help other people have a career that they loved and help companies to provide lovable work. So that's, we sold that company. I was part of a bigger company called Medallion Hotels. We sold that company, and then I went off in this direction of human development, really.
Wow. And you started in your mom's kitchen making pretzels. So you were an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah. And I had a great mom who had a tiny kitchen, but she shared it with me all in a hot summer. She let me put the oven on during the day and do that. So I give her a lot of credit.
Yeah, sounds amazing. Can you share with us what are the companies you work with? Who's your ideal client? Like, for those people who are listening, they might be like, hey, I might be.
No, thank you for all these nice questions to shine a light on my business. But we have 3 target markets, and we're diversifying, and that's been part of our strategy for growing. So we work with individuals, consumers, professionals, and leaders that want to hone their careers and get really focused on what we call soul work, figuring out what they love to do. I meet a lot of people that want to start businesses, but you really need to have an idea. So we can help you figure what that idea is out and maybe work with you on how to grow your business after that. Then we work with organizations, not-for-profits, for-profits. I've worked with Disney, I work with Viacom, so I've worked with large companies, but I also work with small companies and startups and universities. Our longest standing client is we're in a 10-year contract right now with the University of Denver. And then we also we're in the midst of launching our K through 12 program. So we're actually helping very young people become compassionate leaders and setting them up for soul work and compassionate leadership when they grow up.
Oh, I love that so much. I have 2 kids, so that really hits my
heart. How old are they?
My daughter is 16 and my son's 14. So he's just entering 9th grade and she's a junior. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a middle school program called Dream Lab that's sort of career development prep and helping people access dreams and do projects related to dreams. And then for high school, we have something called Purpose Lab that helps students understand their connection to work and how work can help the world, how their work can help the world.
I'm going to have to check out that one for my daughter for sure. And then for my son, but she's like trying to find her way, we've got to look at school soon and all of that. And she's like, I don't know what I want to do. And I'm like, that's okay. It's okay. We'll figure it out. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in learning more about that. So Laurel, what does it truly mean? We've been talking about compassionate leadership. What does it truly mean to be a compassionate leader in today's business landscape?
Well, we've had to come up with our own definitions. There's a lot of academic definitions for compassionate leadership, but the way that we define it, which is based on the science, is leaders who use their head and their heart to influence others so that those people that they influence can influence others. So it's really empowering people at all levels of an organization or community or government to be leaders. So compassionate leaders help grow other compassionate leaders.
So are there any myths or misconceptions about compassionate leadership?
I think the biggest one is that compassionate leadership is soft. And I have a colleague I've worked with named Uvini Lubecki, who worked at the Dalai Lama Foundation to translate his teachings into leadership development. And she taught me that compassionate leadership can be soft or fierce. And I, as a mom of children, you probably have had to be fierce with your children and protect your children. So compassion, sometimes the definition we use for compassion is preventing or alleviating suffering. So in the workplace, training people prevents suffering, giving them honest feedback prevents suffering, having boundaries prevents suffering. It doesn't have to always look like patting people on the back. It can be very clear and fierce, and it can also be soft. So certainly appreciating people, caring about their families, understanding what they like and don't like in work and outside of work, all those things are also compassionate, but it needs to be both really to be effective.
So you help organizations align with their purpose. You just mentioned also now you're helping high schoolers. So why is finding a sense of purpose at work such a game changer for when it comes to performance and fulfillment?
Yeah, there's a lot of science that backs this up. I will talk about one study that's kind of interesting. The CEO of Vitamix, Jody Berg, it's a family company. Almost everyone has a Vitamix at their house or at least sees them around at Starbucks. She was the first woman to lead her family-owned company. While she was running the company, she was also getting her PhD. And she did a study that found that having a personal purpose is actually a better indicator of performance at work than even being connected to the purpose of the work. So people that understand themselves, know themselves, have a personal purpose beyond a professional purpose, which is also important, tend to be more focused, tend to be more connected, tend to have less anxiety. There's just a lot of advantages of having purpose that makes people better workers and better leaders.
That makes a lot of sense now that you mentioned it, because we talk about, burnout and overwhelm and all of those things. And, for entrepreneurs, I'll speak into me, I hit burnout because all I did was work, 2 jobs, build a business, kids, rinse and repeat. And they were young at the time. So, and I was a single mom. So it's just I was rinsing and repeating this cycle that just wasn't sustainable. But I kept doing it and doing it and doing it without realizing that I was hitting a wall. And finally I had to give something up, and I walked away from the business for a while and then decided when I came back, I was like, okay, how do I do this differently this time? And that makes sense because I didn't have balance. There was nothing for me. I had no purpose for me. The only purpose I had was making money and figuring out how to do that with 2 jobs in a business and then taking care of the kids. So I love that you said that, because it really hit home and clicked for me. I'm like, oh yeah, we do have to find that balance and find things that we like personally that light us up in order to keep everything else going.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I love the topic of purpose and being a practitioner of helping other people find purpose. We've also found it's really for your listeners to have a little tip here. it's important to have like an overall purpose for your life and work and how you want to be. We call that like, what is your center? What's at your center? So for some people, that's family. For some people, that's God. For some people, that's service. Whatever's at your center can be your umbrella purpose. But then you need a purpose for every hat you wear, right? So you need a purpose for business owner. You need a purpose for mom, you need a purpose for artist or athlete or whoever you are. And you also need to understand that you can't be on purpose for all those hats at all the same time, right? There's seasons usually, especially for women that are raising children or parents that stay-at-home parents that are raising children. That's a really important job. And even though we may not value it as a society as much as we can, you need to understand that you're never really going to have balance, but there's probably focus, right? So as long as you're connected to your umbrella purpose and you understand why you have these different hats, and sometimes you have to put hats down. So I appreciate that you took a break from the business. Like sometimes it's hard to find purpose and find meaning when you're too busy or overwhelmed.
Yeah. So let's dive into that. For someone feeling stuck or burned out, what's the first step toward reconnecting with purpose in their career or leadership role or personally?
It's a great question. I think it's different for different people. I would tell, I don't know if I can swear on this podcast.
Yes, you can. Okay.
Sometimes I feel like all we do, I mean, the best thing we can do for our clients is help them to slow the fuck down, right? So you have to find space for finding purpose. Like you have to think of it as a project. And so creating space. Some people who have children at home or young children at home, sometimes they just need to go to a cafe and do some writing in a journal. Some people need to go to nature, spend time in nature. Part of my education around purpose came from doing a traditional Lakota vision quest. That's not for everyone. Sometimes you need to leave your country, go on a vacation, and maybe you're going to be on vacation for 10 days with your family. Like carve out one afternoon where you can just be with yourself if you can, if you have that luxury. So I would say the first step is always slowing down and finding space. And for some people, like for me, I like sitting and looking at water. For other people, that would drive them crazy. So maybe they're going to find their purpose. I have a client who figured out his purpose by driving. Like he just loved to drive on long country roads. I have other people that love to travel. So finding space and slowing down.
I love looking at water too. That's one of my big goals is when finding a place on the water. And my dream is to be able to walk out every morning with my cup of coffee and on the dock with my person. And that's how we start the day. And then at the end of the day, glass of wine, watching the sun go down. That's my peaceful place.
Very clear vision. I see that for you too.
Thank you. Thank you. I have to put it out there, right? You got to put it out there to achieve it. And so was that one of your goals, is to travel as much as you do? I'd love to dive into that a little bit. 20 states in a matter of a couple months.
I am a gypsy. I'm a traveler. I've lived in 21 places in my life, and I'm about to move into 2 places. So I was living in Michigan, and now I'm going to be living near family, both in Texas and in Massachusetts. So I'm going to split my time. I've done that before. There was a time in my life where I lived in Chicago and Austin. So traveling is sometimes just necessary for me to kind of shake things up. So, and I've done these long kind of road trips, work trips, life trips before. When I was younger, my friend Lisa and I did a 1,215-mile bike ride from Seattle to San Francisco over 6 weeks. At one point, for 6 months, I traveled around the West and did a lot of camping and visiting friends and visiting national parks. So for me, it's just these little, I call them, soul adventures are part of my life. Yeah. So it's also season. Sometimes, for the last few years while I have been in Michigan, I've really spent a lot of time at home. I wasn't out on the lake, but I was very close to Lake Michigan and saw the lake every day. So I have seasons, years where I'm writing and I'm staying still, and then there's other seasons where I'm moving around, and both feel equally peaceful for me. It's not for everyone. It's just how I'm built.
Yeah, I love it. So I'd love to talk a little bit about growth, Laurel. You've been in business 26 years, and this wasn't your first business. You've exited a different one, another one before that. Can you share with us some of the challenges you've had over the years, or maybe just one or two, and how did you overcome them?
So many. I know this is not a long podcast. So, one of the challenge I can talk about one of the challenges I'm dealing with now. So
Okay.
for us to grow at this stage, and I'm hoping to exit my company as CEO, probably have another role in 4.5 years. This company has been very much me. It's been a lifestyle company. It's been a place for me to be creative and have fun and do what I wanted to do. And now I have a bigger team, and the challenge is transitioning from a personality brand to a broader brand. So I named the company Compassionate Leader Circle because I wanted lots of people to get work from the company and through the company and to grow and to scale. I've only kind of figured out how to do that in the last couple of years. And part of that is I really have the most amazing team, and I have the right team. And part of my strategy too is I'm 65, and I wanted to find younger people to do the company with, because there's a lot to do, and I wanted my legacy to go on. And so my three, I have 5 main people in the company, but 3 of them are working moms, and they have 10 kids among them. So that's kind of fun, because I have these really smart women, are very dedicated, hardworking, super smart, and they're able to do challenging work, but not full time, because they're keeping, they're doing their main work, which is raising future amazing citizens, as number one. So, yeah. So as a CEO with a lot of imagination, a lot of creativity, the other challenge I have is I have to be more deliberate and less chaotic, because as more of a solopreneur with freelancers, I could, kind of pivot often. And I really came up with a strategy that we're going to follow for the next 5 years about a year ago, a little more than a year ago, when I was in New Zealand. So I was also on another trip. And I see my role to be less creative and more steady now, so that my team can grasp what I'm doing. And yes, with the changes in the world, we've had to flex and pivot, but at the center we have a strategy that we're sticking with, and we hope to stick with for the next 4.5 years.
Amazing. So I know you want to exit in 4.5, but what's next for the next 12 months? What are the big goals for you for the next 12 months?
Yeah, we have lots of proposals out for big jobs. So closing those big jobs. And we do better when we have long-term relationships and bigger scaled programs. We're publishing a book. We're talking to a couple of strategic partners that may help us with that, but we have a Lead with Love workbook. That's the working title. It'll probably be called something else, that we're going to be publishing and promoting. So that's a big goal. And I really do see the future of this company being the K through 12 programs, because schools and parents are desperate for new tools. And we actually have more interest than I was really ready for. Figuring out how to do that logistically and affordably for schools and parents is a big challenge for us for the next 12 months.
Yeah. I'm just really intrigued with everything you do, because you have so many different buckets that you fall into and people that you help. So if you told us about the one issue, I was going to say, if you have a magic wand, I asked this from everybody, and you can wave it over one issue right now, what would that be and why? But you pretty much already told us that. Visibility wise, how are you said you have some big proposals out there that you want to close and help them with what you do, but how are you getting in front of your businesses, your schools, and visibility wise, what's worked for you all, and maybe some things that haven't worked for you.
I was just talking about this earlier. This is like I feel like I'm in business therapy. You ask such good questions, which is very helpful for an entrepreneur. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I have spent a lot of money and time on social media, and most of our business comes from direct relationships. So, for instance, one of the things we've done this year is shifted to going to conferences. So I've sent my main people to a couple of conferences, and I'm actually helping them create direct relationships, and that's paying off. I think social media can be very alluring, and it's very fickle, so over the years we've had lots of different channels. We're starting, just in the last few months I've succumbed to Instagram. So we're working on Instagram and we're seeing some results there. And we're gonna transport our newsletters and our podcast over to Substack. I used to get a lot of business from LinkedIn, and I see that it's harder. It's just noisier, bigger, louder, more AI. It's just very noisy over there. So I'm hoping that Substack's a smaller community, and it also tends to be a younger community, and we're trying to build a younger audience. So I don't know if I answered your question, but
you did. It was perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So Laurel, can you share with us, you just mentioned Instagram. I'm going to check you out over there. You're new. You're welcome to Instagram. Glad to have you. I haven't been as active as I used to be. I'm more active on LinkedIn now because we did a whole pivot with our business. So sometimes you just got to shift gears on what you're doing too. And that's a whole of the thing of the visibility thing. You've had a lot of growth. Some things, as I've talked to different business owners, as they've pivoted. I talked to somebody yesterday. He, started in one direction and he's completely doing something different 20 years later. So that's a big takeaway too. So you're not only is your business going to ebb and flow, but what you do and where you're going also ebbs and flows, and you learn from the things that you've already done. So share with us how people can connect with you and also learn more about what you do.
Yeah. So the easiest way is to go to our website, which is compassionateleaderscircle.com. Our podcasts and our Forbes posts are there. I write for Forbes about compassionate leadership, but you can get those all in one place, and all of our social media connections are also at the website. We are on Instagram, and our handle is lovable work with an E. I learned that you could spell lovable 2 ways, so it's lovable with an E, and that you can write me directly as well. So my email's laurel@compassionateleaderscircle.com.
Beautiful. And you have a podcast that you shared with me earlier. So where can they go listen to you?
Everywhere. We're everywhere. Compassionate Leaders Circle.
Amazing.
And also on our website, you can listen to our podcast is there as well.
Okay, perfect. So make sure you connect with Laurel. She's awesome. And go to compassionateleaderscircle.com to go check out the website. And if you're watching Laurel and I on YouTube, thank you. We're glad to have you here. Please hit that subscribe button because that allows us to alert you when amazing guests like Laurel are here sharing their insights, sharing their wisdom, taking time out of their traveling, out of their busy days to be here with you, to share what they've gone through and support you in your growth. If you know of anyone, businesses, schools, parents that could use Laurel's support and her company's support, then please share this episode with them. We want to be able to help more people in their lives, also in their growth of their business. And we do that by you sharing and helping us get the word out. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, any of the other places, you can leave a 5-star review. Please do. That also helps the platforms push out our content and allows us to promote our guests, and also allows us to support other leaders, founders, CEOs in growing entrepreneurs, in helping them grow their business. I promised y'all a gift, so here it is. Laurel shared what's been working for her with her visibility and her growth. If you've been trying different things and visibility wise, and you feel like you're just throwing spaghetti at the wall and something's not sticking, you're not getting the growth you want, then go ahead and download our Spotlight to Scale Blueprint. you can go to spotlighttoscale.com/blueprint and grab it there. It's free. It's yours. Have fun. Let us know what you think. Laurel, thank you for being here. Is there anything that last words, anything you'd like to share before I let you go that I didn't get to ask you or we didn't touch on today?
I just always thank you for this. This was amazing. You're an amazing host. I know there's a lot of people out there that are struggling with different things and different people and different situations. And always like to give the advice of when in doubt, throw love at it. So throw love at yourself, throw love at things that bother you, throw love at our country, throw love at it, and things will get better.
I couldn't have said that better. And you made me remember something that I learned when you're feeling stuck, because you said throw love at it. I think that's perfect. And it's a different way I've ever heard that. And I love it. I love that you throw love at it. But I've heard if you're feeling stuck, step away and lean out, reach out to someone, see how you can help them, because helping someone actually ends up helping you, because it takes you away from the issue. And when you come back, you have a clearer mind of what's happening. So that,
Great.
that reminded me of that. Throw love at it. So I love that better. I'm going to put it on a sticky for those of you listening, and stick it on your wall or stick it on your computer, especially if you're working at home all the time like me. Then stick it on your computer so you can remember to throw love at it. Thank you, Laurel, for being here. And thank you for sharing your time, especially during your travels and especially on a Friday afternoon. So thank you for this. Thank you all for listening to Laurel and I, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Business Growth Spotlight.